Good day, everybody. This is Kriek, your friend and your host for today's webinar. And I am coming to you live from a very warm Portugal. And today is the 24th of June. It is now 1 p.m. Eastern Time, or 6 p.m. here in Portugal. I see that we've got Elena. We also have other people coming in. Please just let me know that you can hear my voice and see the welcome screen. The session is being recorded, so we'll be uploading that after the session. Hope everybody is doing fine. Okay, fantastic. Right, so before I get started with today's session, as usual, I just need to make mention that I'm not a financial advisor, and that means I can teach you my strategies. I can point out to you where I personally would want to buy and sell, but the actual trading decision you're still going to have to make yourself. So there's quite a few things happening. Iran, United States, there is a memorandum of understanding, but it seems like they cannot get to a deal. And every time that an official from Iran gets vocal on Twitter or X these days, then the market becomes volatile. And that is still what we are seeing. So the moment that there's some clarity on that, I think we'll see a relief rally to the upside with respect to risky assets. But there's also a catalyst after the market closed today, which could have a profound effect on the markets. And that is the ticker symbol MU, standing for Micron, which is a memory manufacturer. And with this AI bubble that we're in and the AI rally, AI companies they actually don't have enough memory. So if we do get a lot of good forward guidance from Micron today, I do think that it's going to push the stock market higher, and it's going to cause the yen to weaken and the Swiss franc to weaken. So let's see what's going to happen. Anyway, we'll go and have a look at the charts. We'll talk about that. But just first, a few things about me. My name's Kriek. I've got years of experience in the financial markets and portfolio management, investment management, portfolio analysis. I'm a firm believer in the 18.6-year cycle. I think that we are in the final leg of that cycle, and we're still going to see a huge rally in risky assets. And I'll stick with that until we see the cracks in the system appearing. The cracks will be evident once my risk gauge start moving from the greed status to potentially neutral or bearish. We'll have a look at that as well. My mantra is that the market is a mirror. To fear loss is to invite it. So stay fearless, stick to your system, stay focused. Okay. Not always easy, but try and remember that. Okay. So I'm going to open up the dashboard. You know where to find the dashboard. It's KriekTrade.io. I think it's on Google. If you go to google.com and you just search for KriekTrade, I think you'll find it. Yeah, there we go. KriekTrade.io. And you can click on that and it will open up the dashboard. Sign in with your username and the password, and then you can start looking at charts. All right. Hi there, Tom. Okay. So the first thing I want to look at is the daily briefing for today. Now, if you do not receive the daily briefings in your email, please just go to the home page and sign up for the daily briefings here. And you'll receive a daily briefing every day that basically looks something like this. I've now clicked on the briefing. It's now generating the daily briefing for me so that we can see what's happening with the markets and what the narrative is for today, what to expect, and what we can take action on. Okay, it does talk here about the Federal Reserve's accommodative posture. I know that the new Fed chairman last week was a bit hawkish, but I'm not so convinced about the hawkishness. He is soft when it comes to Donald Trump, my opinion. So I don't think the Fed will be raising rates, especially with oil prices that's coming down like this with the deal in the Strait of Hormuz. So that's fine. That is definitely supportive of a rise in risky assets. And we're also in the last leg of the 18.6-year cycle. You can go and click on the 18.6-year cycle link here to learn more about that. But that's basically what constructs the risk gauge here. And it is currently in an extreme greed state at 85. Okay. Now, we do have a bullish macro regime. And when I talk about the macro regime, it is the macroeconomic analysis that we conduct here, which is a combination of actual macroeconomic data, like inflation, but also including the 18.6-year cycle and combining that with how far price is, or how far a certain moving average is, for instance, from the SPY ETF. Okay, then there's a bit of a write-up here telling us about the bullish sentiment, but I'm particularly interested in the key catalysts. There we go. And most importantly, we have the anticipation of Micron earnings. Now, Micron, again, is one of the largest memory producers in the world, and because all AI companies are so, there's a big demand for memory. This one can actually move the market. It can. The earnings here today can move the market. So let's focus on that. And then tomorrow we have GDP as well as the PCE inflation numbers coming out from the United States. That's going to be a big deal tomorrow, Thursday. And then there's some actionable insights here. The S&P 500 continues to show relative strength. I know that it's been consolidating. It's talking about Toyota, and it's talking about volatility in the semiconductor stocks. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the economic calendar. Here is the economic calendar for the next few hours. We have the Fed Bank stress test results. I don't think that's going to have a big impact. The impact here is listed as low. We do have the Bank of Japan governor speaking, and he has been hawkish. The Bank of Japan has been hawkish lately. They're concerned about the weakening in the yen, but I think that's unstoppable. It might create a bit of volatility, but I think if we're still seeing a risk gauge at 85, if we're still seeing risky assets moving higher because of the carry trade, I think the yen will continue to weaken. And then we have another Bank of Japan official speaking later in the Asian session, and we have Australian unemployment. All right, so let's see if that will have an effect on the Australian dollar. Right, so the big deal today, right now, is Micron earnings. Let's go and navigate to the calendar. So I'm going to click on the calendar. By default, it will open up with the economic calendar. If it is mustard color, it's medium. If it's dark blue, then it's low. And you can scroll down and have a look at next month or tomorrow's uh, economic announcements. But what I want to see here is earnings. So I'm clicking on earnings, and you can see there that we have MU, Micron Technology earnings today. So let's go and open up the charts and have a look at Micron. So I'm going to open up MU here. Come on, should be there. Oh, there we go. All right. Let's turn off the Fibonacci's and so on. So let's just have a look at a clean chart. So on the left, the chart on the left is the daily chart. There we go. That's the daily time frame. And it's actually telling me that there's a bullish setup confirmed here. I see this on the 1 hour chart as well. So there's a active buy signal. That's interesting. Okay, let's have a look at the daily chart. So this stock has increased by more than 250% in the past year alone, which is crazy. And I don't see any reason why it shouldn't continue with this bubble that we are in, especially now that the market remains above the 45 period exponential moving average, this purple line. That means the direction of highest probability, or the context, is bullish on this one. Let's see if we got some harmonic patterns. There was a cipher pattern long ago. Okay, well, that's the only thing. That was a while ago. So we can turn that off. Any other patterns? Nothing. Let's see if we have a Fibonacci ABCD swing. And yes, we do. Look at that. So there was an A, there was the B, there was the C, and the market hit the D extension. And that's why it is retracing. This is such a nice example. There's the A. And then we had the B here. Then the market retraced to the 236 retracement level, which means the D extension should actually be the 2.618. That's not a 382 retracement. But it did hit the 1.618, and it is now retracing. What else can I see here? The moment that there is a fractal high, it will draw a new up Fibonacci AB boundary. But again, as long as it remains above the 45 period exponential moving average, that will be bullish. There is no target because we don't have an up fib. I don't have a higher target from where we are now, but we might have one on the 1 hour chart. So I'm going to open up the 1 hour chart. First of all, do we have any patterns? No, don't see anything. Let's look at the 1 hour Fibonacci. There we go. So here is the A. Here is the B. There's the C at the 382 retracement level with the D extension, the target, which is the 1.618 at 1,293. And it's currently trading at 1,041. So it can still go up with 30%. Isn't that crazy? Amazing. Right, so that's the target. I'm going to turn off the 1 hour Fibonacci, and let's have a look at the stop loss and target indicator here. There we go. So according to the short-term strategy, we have a stop loss at 628. We have an entry at 1041 and a target at 1,700. That looks like a good risk reward for me. I like that. Okay, so remember, if you want to see the stop loss, the entry, and the target, just click on stop loss, entry, and target at the top here. But it must say bullish setup confirmed. If it doesn't say anything like that, then I won't give you a stop loss, an entry, and a target. Okay. So Micron is bullish heading into the earnings. It is definitely bullish, and I would consider placing a buy trade myself. Now, if you want to have a look at some trend lines, some more technical analysis, then you can absolutely do that. You can click on the Dow channels, and that will draw a primary trend. It will draw a secondary trend as well as a minor trend here. The minor trend is nice and bullish. That's the one that's I'm going to focus on now. And the minor trend is normally replicated on the 1 hour chart also. So there you go. And what's interesting here is that I always like to see an intermediate line in the middle of a trend channel, because that intermediate line will act as a level of support or resistance. And look where the market is now. It is touching that intermediate line, which is acting as a level of support. Money is made when we buy low and sell high. So look at that. It might be at a low point. I think we need to have a look at the RSI. I see volume is bearish because of this retracement, but I want to see what we have from the RSI. It is below the 40 level, not entirely below 30. I mean, when the RSI is below 30, those are nice signals to be getting in, but there's no certainty that it will move lower into this area. Anyway, that was the RSI. All right, so that is Micron looking good. And then I see that Bitcoin has been very volatile lately. I mean, that is just quite amazing how volatile that has been. So let's go and open up Bitcoin here. BTC USD. There we go. And straight off the bat, we have a bullish primary trend, which is fine. It looks like it might be at support. There's a down secondary trend, as well as a down minor trend. But the big concern here is the fact that the market is below the 45 period exponential moving average. So there is just no opportunity to be getting in with a buy because the probability is bearish. I wouldn't be selling it due to the fact that we are in a risky asset bubble, and Bitcoin is a risky asset. But I wouldn't be buying it now. I mean, it needs to move above that 45 period exponential moving average, and that's why it's telling me here to wait for a bullish setup. Plain and simple, wait for a bullish setup. Do we have any patterns? Let's see. Harmonic patterns. Oh, wow. Yes, there is. There's a cipher pattern here. Look at that. And by default, we have included the A as a benchmark. So when it comes to a harmonic pattern, this is your X. That is the A. And then you have the B over here. And you have the C over there. And then you have the D over here. Now, the A is going to be the benchmark because that is going to be the first target. This is a bullish pattern. And then the target would be 109,000 on Bitcoin. But because the probability is bearish, I don't know how far it will fall before it goes to that target. Okay. So even though we have a bullish pattern here, it doesn't necessarily mean that I should be buying it right now. This is just a prime example of how a trader should be patient and wait for the right time to get in. And now is not the right time. I would wait for the market to move above that 45 period exponential moving average, because the 45 period exponential moving average on the daily chart is acting as an automated trend line. Okay, so I think we got to wait for that. Wow, looks like it might be making a new low here soon. Interesting. Right, so that's Bitcoin. There isn't really anything else. Look at that market falling like this. By the way, if you wanna, if you see that the charts aren't quoting, just click on refresh data, the top right, and then it will update it for you. Then if you want to draw things on the chart, remember you can double click the chart and it will maximize or minimize, or just come back at its regular frame. But over here on the left, it's kind of hidden on the chart. Top left is a icon that will open up the drawing menu for you, that icon. So let's go and click on that. And there's the drawing menu for me. So with this, I can place text on the chart. I can draw trend lines. For instance, I can draw a trend line here, like that. I can put text on the chart. I can draw rectangles. I can draw all sorts of things. I remember that we were going to update the text tool, and it is now updated. There we go. Wait, I need to admit more people here. There we go. Right. I see more people have been asking to be admitted into the session here. I hope you can hear me. And if you are late, if anybody joins late, just know that the session is being recorded. Okay. Just to recap, I was talking about the Micron earnings that we'll have after the market close. And if we see good forward guidance, it could drag the whole market to new highs. But I guess we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen there. Can everybody still hear my voice and see the screen? Okay, right. Now, anyway, I was at the just talking about the text tool. Let's just type something in here. This is text. And you can change the size, you can change the boldness or the color of the text, and you can place that. So there's the text. You can just click on that to delete it. There we go. And press the delete button of on your keyboard. Okay, so you can definitely go and play around with the drawing tools. All right. Anyway, that was Bitcoin. Bitcoin is, just to recap, Bitcoin is below the 45 period exponential moving average. That means the probability is bearish at this point, but I wouldn't be selling it due to the fact that we are in a risk on environment at this point. Okay, I expect the yen to weaken. I expect the Swiss franc to weaken. I expect risky assets to gain in value. So Tom is asking how to organize the webinar screen to maximize the chart width display. More that a third of the width is wasted on, therefore too small with useful display. Good question. There is a full screen button in the middle of your a screen. I think you can see that. It's a like a little maximize button in the middle of your screen. Let me see if I can take a screenshot and show you. I guess I need to open up a Microsoft Word document for that. Maybe I can take a screenshot like this. Just 1 second, let me see. Right, image. Okay, this is what it should look like on your end. And I am talking about this button over here, this one, the maximize button. So look for that one, because that will maximize your screen. Okay, see if that works for you. Okay, and let me know. Right, so that was Bitcoin. Let's go and have a look at some of the foreign exchange symbols. The first one I want to have a look at is the Australian dollar Japanese yen, because I've been in on the Australian dollar Japanese yen, and I have been a vocal supporter of selling the yen, meaning going long on the Aussie yen. And look what the Aussie yen did. It moved below the 45 period exponential moving average yesterday again. It opened up above it, but closed below it. Now, because the probability here is bearish, I wouldn't want to go and buy it at this point, but I'm really hoping for a bounce. I'm hoping for the market to move above that 45 period exponential moving average again, because I think it would be futile to sell it, because this one could turn around at any point in time, especially if we see equities move higher. What I also see here is some sort of a range. So if I can draw a level of support here, there we go. There's a level of support. Let's change the color. Oh, I can't change the color yet. And there is the resistance. Okay, so clearly there's a range going on here, and we are at the bottom of the range. I mean, I can have a look at this range like that. We are at the bottom of the range here. So let's see what's going to happen with the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. But again, just to recap, in a risk-on situation, I would want to go long Aussie yen. I would want to go long Aussie Swiss and pound Swiss and Canadian Swiss and so on. Basically, just selling the yen versus other currencies and selling the Swiss franc versus other currencies. But it has to be aligned. It needs to be above the 45 period exponential moving average on the daily chart. Now, I can go through all these currency pairs here, and I can go and have a look at them one by one to see which ones are aligned, or I can simply go and click on the scanner. If I click on the scanner, then it will show all the symbols in this scanner universe, and if they are aligned, if there are any patterns that are detected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on a Forex heading at the top, and I am going to sort this by signal. And there is a bullish setup confirmed on the Euro Aussie. There's a bullish setup confirmed on the Australian dollar Swiss franc. There's a bullish setup confirmed on the Canadian dollar Swiss franc. And that's exactly what I like. Okay, I'm going to skip the Euro Aussie, but I'm definitely going to have a look at the Aussie Swiss and the Canadian Swiss. I see that there's a falling wedge on the Canadian Swiss as well. Let's go and open this one in the dashboard. I see the current candlestick, daily candlestick is above the 45 period exponential moving average. Let's have a look at some patterns. There's the falling wedge. Nice one, drawn beautifully. So a falling wedge is a bullish pattern. Expect the market to break to the upside from here. That's lovely. I like what I'm seeing here. It said that it does say that there's a bullish setup confirmed. So on the 1 hour chart, I would like to go and click on stop loss and target, and then it will give me the stop loss, the entry, and the target based on the 1 hour Fibonacci ABCD swing. So here you have it. The A is where? Oh wow, this A is very far away. Look at that. There's the A. And then we have a B over here with a super shallow retracement, and then the D extension. I think that one can be calibrated a bit better, but nevertheless, we do have an entry, a stop loss, and a target on the Canadian Swiss. I like what I'm seeing here. I like what I'm seeing here. I think I've got the Canadian Swiss in my portfolio here. Let's click on the portfolio. Canadian Swiss, Canadian Swiss. No, I don't. Okay, I don't have it here. Let's go and have a look at the accounts. Oh, my P&L is negative today. Last week I was up with much more, but a lot. But yeah, with that retracement on the yen, that's not changed. Anyway, I see something interesting here. When I click on portfolio, it says 5 positions project a lower compound annual growth rate than simply buying and holding the asset. Look for the exclamation mark icon next to the strategy column. Click it to switch to buy and hold or open up the strategies page. Okay. So 5 of them have it. Oh, yeah. SMH. And I have selected the position trading strategy here. So let's go and select the buy and hold. May as well turn on auto trading. Auto trading is turned on for that one. So that the automated strategies can manage this one. And then we have XLE. Change that to buy and hold. US dollar Turkish lira. Change that to buy and hold. and then the euro, Turkish lira, buy and hold, as well as IVV, buy and hold. There we go. Okay, so now it's all updated. And then you'll also see some projections. You can print a report of your projections of your portfolio. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. But it's pretty straightforward. You can auto create a portfolio. Let me just see where. No. Oh, there we go. Auto generate portfolio. So if you don't have a portfolio, you can click on auto generate. You can put in your target annual return. You have some assets that you can exclude, analyze and generate, and then it will generate a portfolio for you. Or you can trade manually. You can add symbols from the scanner into the dashboard, into the portfolio. You can just click on the plus portfolio sign, and then it will add that, and you can buy and sell it from there. Right. So do we have any questions? Any instruments that I can analyze for you today? Anything that I can go through in the charts maybe, or analyze fundamentally, or have a look at the macroeconomic climate? If there's anything, we did have a look at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is bearish at this point. We did have a look at the Aussie yen, and unfortunately, the Aussie yen is below the 45-period exponential moving average. But I'm patient on that one. And then the Aussie Swiss seems to be giving me a signal, as well as the Canadian Swiss. What are you guys looking at? Oh, Rich is asking the Euro Swiss and the Swiss index. Okay, let's go and have a look at that. Euro Swiss. Okay, there's the Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss is stating that there is waiting for a bullish setup. It is above the 45-period exponential moving average, though. It isn't up to date with the data. Is there a 1 hour, is there a daily Fibonacci ABCD swing? No, it says here the Fibonacci is suppressed. The current swing is bearish, but the macro regime is waiting for a bullish flip. So we're basically going to have to wait for a golden cross on the 144 and 377 moving averages, and we don't have that yet. So that's why there's no fib that can be drawn. But I'm happy to report that it is above the 45-period exponential moving average. And this also looks like, we've got a downtrend going on here, and then also a low. First of all, this low is higher than that one, and this is a typical double bottom. I like that also. Do we have any harmonic patterns? Nothing. Any normal patterns? Also nothing. And we can have a look at the Dow channels that will do auto technical analysis for us in terms of drawing trend lines. And I see that there's a down primary trend, there's a down secondary trend, but there's a bullish minor trend. And that minor trend we can view much better on the 1 hour chart. There's the 1 hour chart with a minor trend. Looking good. I like that, considering that the probability is bullish. But there's no entry here at this point. Okay, so that's great. The Swiss index, let me just see if we actually do have the Swiss index. I'm going to go to the scanner, and I'm going to go and click on indexes, and there is no Swiss index. I should actually add the currency indexes here, because that is possible. Let me see how. I can open up the Swiss franc index. For that purpose, yeah, because I don't have it here, I'm going to have to open this in trading view. 1 second, let me open up trading view. Okay, I'm just going to move this here. Let's maximize this chart. Change that to a daily. And I'm just going to delete everything here. And then we can do an analysis from the start. So this is the Swiss franc index. And just by having a look at this chart, can you see any pattern? Before I draw it, I can see a pattern. I see a bearish pattern, if that's a hint. I see a bearish pattern. Can anybody see a pattern here? All right, I'll show it. Look at this. I think I can draw it here. Patterns, head and shoulders. There we go. I see a head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and there's your head and shoulders pattern. Look at that. And a head and shoulders like this typically occur at the top of a bull trend. And guess what? We've had one massive bull trend here. There we go. That looks like an outer trend. This looks like an inner trend that has been broken already. So heading to that one. So it looks like the Swiss franc is poised as an index to weaken, which is fantastic for those of us who are bullish on the Euro Swiss and the Aussie Swiss and so on. Now, the yen just needs to play ball as well. And I think that's also on the same trajectory. But there we go. There's your Swiss franc index. I like what I'm seeing here. Wow. Okay, but if I go back to my dashboard and I have a look at the scanner and I click on Forex, then we actually have only two Swiss franc based currency pairs that are aligned. It's the Canadian Swiss, the one that I just showed, that is bullish, and we have the Australian dollar Swiss. Let's open this one in the dashboard. Okay, huge down primary trend, down secondary trend, but the minor trend is bullish. And this one has just moved also below its 45 period exponential moving average. Crazy. I'd love to see that one move above that. And then I can continue buying the Aussie Swiss. Let's see if there's any patterns here. Harmonic patterns, nothing. Normal patterns, nothing. What do we see on the 1 hour chart? Same thing, nothing, yeah? Okay, well, let's have a look at the AI forecast. There it is. Looks like we're going to get a bounce, but then it's still going to consolidate. Hope it goes up from here. Hope it doesn't consolidate. um, Talking about that, this is going to be very interesting to have a look at Micron because they got their earnings after the close and all eyes and ears are on Micron. Okay, right. So this is Micron. Let's open up the daily. Oh, there's not enough data. How is that possible? Oh, we can't find anything. So there isn't an AI forecast. This one has just moved so high so quickly. I guess it can continue. So the only thing that we actually can focus on is the signal. And there it is. Stop loss, entry, and the target. Stop loss at 628, entry 1022, target 1.70, 1704. That's crazy. It can still move much higher, yeah. As long as the market stays above the 45 period exponential moving average here. I like that. Is there a daily Fibonacci ABCD swing? Oh, we hit the D extension, waiting for a fractal high to draw a new up AB boundary. Okay. All right. Rich is asking for the pound Swiss. Let's go and have a look at that one. Pound Swiss. Okay, so there is no fib that we can draw here. Let's turn that off. But I see that this one is above the 45 period exponential moving average. So that's looking good. It's nice to see that the Swiss franc is starting to weaken again. It's nice to see that the pound Swiss is bullish. Any harmonic patterns? Nothing. Nothing. Dow channels. Down primary trend, down secondary trend, and the minor trend is bullish. So let's go and have a look at this one on the 1 hour chart. There it is. And you can clearly see that we've got the intermediate trend line, and the market is hovering around this intermediate trend line, and it's already acting as a level of support. Look at that. Nice. Like what I'm seeing here. But there's no entry here. It's telling me I need to wait for a bullish setup. But maybe there's a 1 hour fib. Oh, there's not even a 1 hour fib I can draw. All right. But that is bullish. Fact of the matter is that is bullish. So Swiss franc is a better play right now than the yen, because it looks like the yen is strengthening a bit. Right. So today I'm going to have to cut my session short a few minutes early, but I really appreciate your participation in today's session. Please watch out for the recording and remain patient. And let's just stick to the narrative. And again, if you have any questions, please send them over. If you'd like to have a quick call, that's also possible. All right. So this is your friend from Portugal. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And I am looking forward to the next time that we meet. Have a good one. Cheers.